folders here for organizing our code. New group. And this one here, I'm going to just make this model. All right, we're just going to have one model, but it's always nice to give it plural there. And this next one is just going to be views. Very nice. And what I'm going to do first of all is, instead of views, I'm going to create a new file. It's going to be a Swift file as such. I'm going to call this the backsplash, if you will. Okay, so it's going to be our background. It's going to be very simple. We're just going to create a rectangle as such, and this rectangle here is going to have a fill. Okay, so this fill here, I'm going to pass a linear gradient as such, and in linear gradient we have to pass a few things. Just hit enter, and then we're going to start from there. So the gradient there, I'm going to pass a gradient object. Let's go say gradient object. For gradient object, we have to pass, of course, a few things. Okay, we have to pass a series of colors, which are arrays of colors. So the first thing I'm going to pass here in this array is going to be, let's of course have an array, and I'm going to say color. Right, I'm going to invoke what we just created earlier, and the first color is going to be light green. Okay, inside of array, I'm going to say comma, and the next color is going to be light green as well. Okay, I could have just put one. I'm just going to put two there so we can show. Okay, very good. And next is going to be the starting point. Where do we want this gradient to start from? We want it to start from the top down to the bottom. So for the starting point, I'm going to say dot top. Okay, and for the end point is going to be dot bottom, like that. Okay, now the other thing, you want to make sure that this rectangle, but we also want to be able to ignore the safe area, meaning we want this entire visible view to be this gradient. How do we do that? You probably have seen it before. We say dot edge insets, and we're going to say dot all. So ignore safe, actually it's edges ignoring safe area, right? And now let's save this. I need to call inside of our content here. I'm going to go ahead, first of all, get rid of all of this, and I'm put a Z stack there. And just for now, I'm going to go ahead and call the backsplash as such. We don't have to pass anything. Save and run. We should see something really nice, hopefully. And just like that, we have that really nice color, which really emulates what you see there. Okay, you can see that color there. Very good. In fact, I have a screenshot of the application. This is probably going to be helpful to us. So next, what we're going to do is, let's go ahead and put together this top view at the top here. So this top there. To do that, we're going to go ahead and, of course, create a new view, new file. And this is going to be, I'm going to call this top view as such. All right, so inside of a top view here, we're going to create structure there. So let's get rid of all of this. Now I'm going to put all of that inside of Z stack because I'm going to be stacking things around, right, inside. And I'm going to pass here an alignment that's going to be leading, because I want all these stuff to be to the left. Okay, so get rid of that. All right, so inside here, I'm going to go ahead and put an H stack because I want to have these two items there, right? So I'm going to put horizontal stack, and I'm going to add an image. This image, it's not from the system. It's our image we created or we added. It's going to be called drops icon. Okay, make sure we have all of that, and I'm going to make it resizable. And I'm going to give a foreground color, and I'm going to give a frame that is going to be width. It's going to be about 20, and height is going to be also 20 as such. And what I want to do next is I want to add a background and a passive view here. The view I'm going to pass is going to be a rounded rectangle. As you can see, it's my favorite so far. And the corner is going to be, let's see, about 12. I think that would do it. And inside here, I'm going to also add a frame because I want to make sure that this background has a frame with width of about 40 and height is going to be about 60. But still inside here of our background rectangle, I'm going to give it a foreground color. The color is going to be dark green as such. Okay. Now I'm going to save this. It's not going to work because I need to put that, of course, inside of our content view. So I'm going to come down here and say top view as such and see. Let's run this. And you can see it's right here. Not too bad. Okay, not exactly where we want to be. So let's go back to our top view here. Inside of our H stack, I'm going to go ahead inside here. I'm going to give it a spacer real quick. You're going to see that's going to actually help us. And then here I'm going to put the text, which is going to say something like, so I'm going to make this cap, which is going to say Starbucks, like this. Of course, let's go ahead and give it a foreground color. Just give it a white. Font is going to be headline. Give a font weight. And I can go ahead and say I want this to be heavy. Look at that, all these modifiers. And I want this to also be bold. And I'm going to give it padding of trailing, meaning from the right there of about just about 100, so that we can see what's going to happen. So I'm going to save this and run, and we should hopefully see now the Starbucks to the right of our button. There we go. That looks really, really good. Very good. So because of this H stack here, I can actually give a leading padding here to move this a little bit to the right. I can say leading of about 90. And I want to give a padding for the top of also about something like 12. Let's run this. You're not going to see a big difference in the top padding yet because we don't have other stuff going on there. Very good. So now it looks really, really nice, kind of like this. Of course, in this case, I used a different palette of color, but it doesn't matter. At least you can see it's looking real good. We have the Starbucks and the actual button or this icon there. Very good. So we're making good progress here. Of course, it's looking rather strange because it's all in the middle here, but we're going to push it up to the top here in the next video.